Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I am very excited for this video because I'm going to be talking about all the new indie makeup releases from the past week and my personal opinion on them. This video series is inspired by Angelica Nikist and Samantha March, and also all the Instagram accounts that I use are linked down below, so you can find all the information in the description box, as well as all the products that I talk about for the most part, unless I get a little lazy. Happens sometimes because filling out the description box for this video is like the death of me. It takes so long. I normally only link the indie brands that are harder to find or that you might not know about. I don't really, if I talk about the mainstream products at the end, I don't find the need to like link a Tarte product because it's pretty easy to find. And I think that's everything I had to say. Oh, actually, also, in case you guys are curious, if you like this makeup look, I will have a tutorial up either this coming Friday or earlier than that. I'm not sure yet, but it should be up this coming week. So let's just go ahead and jump on in. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be talking about today is a new stack from Millas Cosmetics, and this is their Blueprint stack. And at this moment, I have only seen 7 of the 8 shades, but as I'm editing this, hopefully it'll all be available and I'll put the final picture on the screen. And I'm a little bit like, I'm not sure how I feel about this yet. So everything is split pans, which I really appreciate because I'm sure it'll be the same price, but it'll be obviously 4 more shades and it's the same packaging. So I think that's actually pretty cool. I really like that idea. The blue packaging is limited edition, but the stack is actually permanent. So it'll return in the black packaging at some point is what I've gathered from some comments that I read. So the thing about this stack is that I like some of the shades and I don't like some of the others. I feel like this is the same thing that Milk keeps doing. They do a half colorful palette and then the other half is all neutrals, which is what they did with the Gemini palette. That's what they did with the Smoke Sessions palette. And then this looks like it's going to be half blue shades and half bronze shades. I think that's honestly such a disappointment. I just wish that they would just do a full colorful thing because I don't want to spend my money on something and only like half of it. So I think this is going to be a pass for me. I have a lot of blues in my collection. I think if it was more blues or all blues, I would have gotten it probably as one of my palettes for the month. But yeah, I don't really like the half and half thing, especially when it's so redundant and it's like the same bronzes over and over again. This is really beautiful. This is the Sparrow Cosmetics One Ring palette, and this has been around for a bit. I would say several months, but they recently revamped it, and I think that they changed the packaging, so I think the color makes a lot of difference, and I think they did something else with the glitters. I'm not sure exactly what the entire revamping was. All I know is that I saw the palette before and I wasn't drawn to it, but now I see this and I think it is absolutely beautiful. The colors in here, all the pastel purples and blues and like the cool tones, I just really love this. I'm tempted to get it. I'm not going to yet at this moment, but this definitely really caught my eye, and I think that this looks beautiful. So I was kind of surprised by that. So next from Eleman Beauty, they are coming out with 4 new palettes, and these retail for $42 each, which I feel like is a lot from a brand that seems pretty relatively new, a smaller brand, and there's 9 shadows in each. So you can see there's the Inferno palette, the Terra palette, the Zephyr palette, and the Aqua, and I feel like the 3 that I find interesting, the Inferno, the Zephyr, and the Aqua, if I cover up 3 shades in each palette, I no longer find it interesting. So I think that these are a pass for me. I think I like what they're doing here, kind of. It's like the half neutral, half colorful thing, but I just don't feel like I need any of those in my life. I don't feel like they would add anything to my collection. So next, Amy Hearts Beauty is coming out with some brow color, and I think this collection is actually pretty cool. So they're going to have a yellow, a blue, and a red, which are the 3 primary colors, and then a black to darken and a white to lighten, so that you can have any eyebrow color that you want as a pomade. I like this in theory. I think it's really cool, especially if you're someone who changes your hair color a lot. And I feel like you might feel like an evil scientist putting your brow color together. But for me personally, I would just, I don't know. I don't know if that's something I would have the effort of doing to actually go through. Actually, I think it'd be kind of fun to use the different shades and see if I could make my perfect redhead shade myself using the different ones. Because I mix things all the time. I normally mix a redhead shade and a taupe shade to get my perfect brow pomade shade. So I think this is really cool for a specific type of person. Like I said, if you change your hair color often, this would be a great way to, you know, get a lot of use out of your brow product. All right, so next, Millas Cosmetics is coming out with 2 new quads, and this first one I think is really beautiful. There's 2 shimmery shades and 2 matte shades, and there's a blue of each and a green of each, and I think this is nice. The thing is, though, that looking at this, I feel like everything kind of looks like a mid-tone shade. There's not like a super light shade. There's not a super deep shade to add depth. So I think this would be a pass for me. Well, it's a pass either way because they sell mink lashes. But then there's also another palette, and this is all warm tones. I think this is pretty too. I like the idea of doing more quads, but I don't feel like I need any of those. Also, this is from Mythology Makeup. They came out with a Medusa palette, and there's like a really light shade, a purple, a bluey green, and a gold, and I think this is really cute. I like the idea of it, the Medusa theme. I don't feel like I need it, of course. I feel like I have way too much makeup. It's not something I see myself buying, but I do think it's cute, and I like the theme, and I like the color. The color choices, I feel like it's a little bit more on the interesting side. Next, Blush Tribe came out with some new of their, I think, what are they called? The Titanium Dust pigments. And these look really, really beautiful. I have not tried any of the pigments from Blush Tribe, but I'm looking at these, and the shade Zora and the shade Forest, actually, really, the shade Forest is so stunning. I really, really like the way those two look. I have a lot of pigments in my collection right now, so I don't see myself getting them anytime soon, especially because of the shipping price of Blush Tribe. But if I ever made an order in the future and did a bundle or something, I could see, honestly, I feel like I would get Forest. I feel like that one's a little bit more unique. I don't have anything like that. So those look really, really pretty. All right. Next, we have another little sneak peek, and this is from Makeup Slayve, and this is for their Valentines palette, and I'm very curious to see what this is going to be. I feel like they've had some cool color combinations. So I like the packaging of this. It's all those like little candy heart things, and they're kind of funny. Just different little names. They also showed like a sneak peek of some of the swatches, and they look nice. I do overall like the formula of Makeup Slayve. I feel like their mattes are very, very, like they have the most like pickup and dust of any other eyeshadow that I've tried. They're very much like, they just have a lot of kick up. That's the word for it. But I think they're all really pigmented and they blend really well. So I am curious about this, but also at the same time, I tell myself, like, Valentine's Day is such a quick holiday, and if it's a limited edition thing and it's like, it's just limited edition, it's like one run release and that's it, I just don't really want to buy anything like that. So it depends. Ooh, this is really exciting. Looxi Beauty is coming out with liquid lipsticks. They have been teasing these for a really, really long time. I'm sure they've been perfecting the formula, so I'm excited. There's going to be 10 shades, and there's a little sneak peek here. There's like a nude, a mauve, and a red shade, so I'm curious what the lineup is going to be. I'm curious about the formula. It's not something I see myself buying right away, but it's definitely, if someone reviews them, I'm going to be like watching immediately. So I am excited, and it's just cool to see an indie brand that you love so much just grow and, like, you know, dive into new products. So next, there are some new shades from Terra Cosmetics launching for Valentine's Day. Again, curious if this is going to be limited edition or permanent. These shades look really, really beautiful. There's like this really, really beautiful green, purple, and the red, and they showed like some other sneak peeks of glitters and stuff, but like I said, it depends on if it's limited edition or not. And also, I do have a few things from Terra Moon. I bought some myself, and then they sent me some, so I've been testing them out, and I am not decided yet on how I feel, so I don't want to buy anything until, you know, you don't want to buy something from a brand if you don't know how much you like it yet. I had a little bit of trouble with their mattes when I used it with a concealer. It like literally just like fell off my eye, but then I used it with a different primer and it was slightly better, but I still just want to keep playing with them and trying them out and see what I can do. Also, I just don't need to buy any more makeup, so. All right, next we have from Sola Look. This is the Beverly Hills 90210 palette. And I think I'm too young for this. I never watched this. I watched the 90210 version that was on Netflix, and it was like an okay show, I guess. I know who some of these people are, like what's her face? The blonde person. She was Gosh, what was she in? She's so funny. I like her. I don't remember what she's been in, but I like her in a lot of things. But anyways, the show aside, the colors in the palette are pretty. I like some of them, but I just feel like there's a lot of bronzy shades here. And I don't know, I just don't feel like I need it. I feel like this is one of those things where it's like if you like the show, you would get the palette, but you kind of have to have that like nostalgia kind of feeling for it. So I think this is a pass for me. Next, moving on to a few different, I think we're on to mainstream releases now. This is from Colourpop, and this is their new Velvet Blur Luxe Lip, and I'm a little bit curious about these. At first, I was just like not really paying attention, but now I see people comparing them to the Powder Puff lipsticks from MAC, which I have not bought because I don't support brands that aren't cruelty-free, so I don't buy from MAC right now. But I saw people saying really good things about the MAC ones, so if this is a cruelty-free dupe, I think that's really, really cool. And perhaps I would pick up a nude or something one day. I really love the Luxe lipstick formula so much. It's one of the only bullet lipsticks that does not give away the fact that I have the worst, driest lips of life. So I'm curious about these. Curious to watch reviews. All right, this is so beautiful. This just took my breath away. This is new from Lancôme, and it is their spring 2019 collection. Look at these lipsticks. Like, they are just like they're roses. Like the packaging on the outside and the packaging on the inside, like the actual lipsticks, these are so beautiful. Like this entire picture in general, like this aesthetic, I was just like, wow, like way to sell a lipstick. If Lancôme was, if they were cruelty free, I would probably ask for one of these for my birthday from somebody, anybody. These are so beautiful, but I know I'm not gonna buy it, but I can definitely appreciate the art of this. I think it's stunning. I love it. I know it's just like rose swirls and stuff, but I don't know, it got to me. I was like, wow, that is a beautiful picture, and I'm sure that there is going to be a lot of like Instagram bloggers who take beautiful pictures using these lipsticks and whatnot, so I thought those were pretty. Next, from Ofra Cosmetics, they are doing a collaboration with Francis Catalot, and I think this is pretty. So there's a face palette which has 2 bronzers and 2 highlighters, and I kind of like the size of those. I feel like you could go through bronzer faster than highlighter, and so the bronzers are a little bit bigger. There's some lippies, which I feel like I'm one of the only people who's not in love with the liquid lipstick formula from Ofra. It doesn't dry down all the way, so I'm like, what's even the point? So as far as the eyeshadow palette goes, I do really like it, actually. I think it's pretty. I love that it's like some really deep, rich matte tones that are like colorful. There's like a really bright chartreuse green, there's a neon pink, and then there is like a taupey shade and a gold shimmer. The gold shimmer kind of strikes me as odd because that's like the only shimmer it looks like in the palette, so it's kind of like, really, like that's the one shimmer you chose, is just like, you know, an average gold. But overall, I do think the palette's really pretty. I like it. I don't see myself buying it, but I'm curious. And I like the Ofra formula whenever they don't have duds. Like I have the, this is their Pro palette. I think it's like, what is this? Editorial? No, Bright Addiction. And I really like these overall, except there's 2 duds in here, I believe. I think it was one of these oranges. Actually, maybe that's the only dud. I can't remember exactly. But I do like this overall, so I do like the Ofra eyeshadow formula. So I'm curious about it. Alright, so I have one last thing to mention, and this is from Black Moon Cosmetics, which is an indie brand. Sorry, this is out of order. I didn't realize my photos were out of order, but these are their liquid eyeshadows, and I think that they're coming out with different bundles and whatnot. I'm really not sure exactly what the groupings are or anything, but I think these look really beautiful. Black Moon Cosmetics is definitely a brand I want to try at some point, and I think that the really, really light blue shade looks stunning on the lid. I don't know, I'm really curious about these, if any of y'all have tried them. I think they're called Cosmic Dust. I think they have had some shades out for a while now. So like I said, I'm not sure if like these are completely new or if it's just the bundles are new or what is happening exactly. I see that there's a pre-order happening on Friday the 11th. Oh, that's today. I'm not gonna buy any. I'm not gonna buy any. Ooh, actually that really bright green shade is beautiful too. Anyways, I think that these look stunning, and if you have tried them, I would be curious about your opinion on them. So that is everything for today's indie makeup releases. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you are having a wonderful weekend. I will see y'all in a video tomorrow. Bye.